Yeah.
And you were in the church from when you were 13. How do you still manage and get pregnant?
At 13, so as a child,
how old were you when you got pregnant?
I was 16. No, I was 17. May I say?
Wait, so how for 5 months your mom did not know you were pregnant?
She didn't know.
Did that smashing single in the 2000s when P Square dropped, when the whole world shake, that do me. Say now you get the female voice when they there. Not true?
Now me,
Now your voice?
now my voice.
I hear,
you know, say talk is cheap.
I know you are tempted to roll with me. Me, I know be the busy body way you sing. What a man can do, a woman can do so.
I heard that your house in Lekki, you bought it with that money from that.
See, let me tell you the things I heard about myself. At the time, I heard that I was a woman living in Bagada with my husband and 4 children.
Wow.
And I heard I was from Kenya or South Africa. I've heard different things about me at the time that song was out. But I was just a young girl in the East trying to survive.
Really?
Yeah.
But you must have made a lot of money from that song.
In my mind.
So wait, before you tell us what happened for your mind and the money, you said you were a young girl in the East.
Yeah.
Tell us how it happened.
Okay, so I was signed to a record label really young at 18. Yeah, I was in the choir in, what's the name of the church again? I was a church secretary at the time. My salary was 1,000 naira.
Oh.
I was very young. I hadn't even gotten to university then because, you know, I'm a young mom. I had my baby right after secondary school. So, you know, I stayed away from school for a while. I got into school in 2000. So, I met Chris Madibuko and Pastor Anselm Madibuko's younger brother, who is, I call him my mentor because the Waje you see now, he gave me the platform to be that. I was singing in the choir. He had just, I think he used to live in America because you hear Uncle Chris's accents. You check it. So he said, I'm starting a label and I want you on the label. I want to sign you. And my mindset was, no, I'm good with singing in church. You know, I had the natural trajectory of what I thought my life should be after school, get married, have kids, and just sit pretty and be beautiful and, you know, eat my husband's money. You know, it's not a bad thing. So, but that didn't happen. And he explained to me, he said, God gave you a gift, so why don't you use it? So I got signed. And one day I was in his house and I saw Omogemi on Channel O. And I just liked how expressive, and my background in music, especially in Enugu at the time, ballads and mid-tempo music wasn't really it. If you weren't singing a hot hit that had heavy percussions or high life or very traditional music, you really didn't get any airplay like that. So I thought that was audacious for them. So I wanted to do a remake, a version of my own. So I did mine and titled it Bobomi. And Uncle Chris sent it to them and they loved it and put it on their remake album.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. So when it was time to do their next album, you know, coincidentally, we were in Lagos and that's Uncle Chris and I were in Lagos, you know, and they were like, okay, Waje, we want you on this song. And I went into the studio and we did it. And really, that's the genesis and, to the end of the whole Waje and Do Me. But the thing about it was, when it now came time to do the video, I had moved from Enugu to Onitsha. I studied in UNN, right? So my mom lived in Enugu. My mom's sister lived in... No, my mom lived in Onitsha. My mom's sister lived in Enugu. So I had gone to my mom's... she lived with... My parents are separated, so my mom went back to her father's house. So I went there, you know. And they had called... Uncle Chris had called me and told me that they were going to SA to shoot the video in 2 weeks. But I didn't have a passport. So what I was told at the time was that I won't be able to get a passport and a visa in 2 weeks. So I couldn't make the video, right? And it's not how the industry is now that you can actually shoot videos in different locations. I guess if we knew then, we would have taken advantage of that, but we didn't. So in my mind, I was just like, okay, I can't do it. I moved on with my life. I didn't even really understand how big the song was. I was just a young girl who was really hungry to, you know, push herself out there. I didn't even know that the song would overtake Africa and there. So Imagine you hearing your voice and you're in Onitsha markets and you're telling them, oh, it's my voice. And they're looking at it because who are you?
How old were you at the time?
When the song came out, I was 20. When did it come out? 2004. 2004. I was 23. I was 23.
Oh.
23. I was 23.
Yeah.
So when in my head it was really, you understand, I didn't really send. I had done one. I was trying to see how we'll move on to the next one, if that makes any sense. And there were quite a number of opportunities that came from you, but because I wasn't fully equipped, and I don't think the record label at the time was also fully equipped to push an artist like me. Like Chimamanda, at some point, a few years down the line, wanted me to do her very first book read in the UK. She had invited me to come and see, because her brother and I are friends. We went to the same school. We went to Nsukka, and he had always talked about every single road show or every concert that UNN had, I will be there. I didn't have a song to sing, but I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston, without instruments, without nothing. I'll go there and sing a cappella. Shall just know that I am an artist. That's how my mind worked. And she contacted me and wanted me to do her book read, but also I didn't have a passport. I didn't have you understand? And I didn't ask questions on how to do things like that. My record label, I'm not sure it was also, but eventually we did, but the opportunity had passed. So
Interesting.
They didn't give you credit for the song. Even, I mean, you said that you couldn't go
Yeah.
for the video. That's excusable.
Yeah.
But not giving you credit to the song,
yeah.
making you have to tell people, oh, that's my voice.
Yeah.
Did you pursue it? Did you ask questions? Did you ask why credit was not given to you for the song?
Or because you made money from it, the credit didn't really matter.
I didn't make any money because at the
What?
time, no. At the time, I'm not sure a lot of artists were fully equipped with the information of what royalties and, what your fair share should be. You don't enter studio, you don't do the verse, you don't move. That was it, right? So I don't know if there was any exchange in finances or anything like that. Not to me, I don't know. And well, I was signed to a record label. So if anything was exchanged, it's definitely not to me. Right now, with regards to records and credits, rather, if you years down the line, you would see featuring Waje when Waje started becoming prominent. I can't remember if it was from the onset. I'll be very honest with you, but I can tell you that maybe if during interviews and there was there's a young lady in Enugu, because I actually opened for them when they came to Enugu to do a show.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually opened for them. So I knew they respected my talent. I knew they loved me as a young woman who's thriving. Jude is like a big brother to me. Like, so even when I moved to Lagos, there were times Jude wasn't my manager, but there were times when I would call Jude up and tell him, this is what I'm going through, and this is what I'm going through, and I need a way to navigate it. As a matter of fact, I Wish, which is one of my biggest songs, was recorded in their house.
I wish that I didn't have it.
Yes, so
I recorded in their house.
Yes.
Yeah, they have a studio in there. I think in Omole then.
Yes, they had a studio
in their house,
downstairs.
yeah.
Me, Muna, Peter, Kafi was there. We were all outside chilling, and I wanted to use the restroom. So by the studio, if you remember that, but the studio, then for walk further down, there's the restroom.
there.
I heard I heard Papi J with just like producing the beat, and I just went in and told Papi J, if you don't record me now, everything that's in my head will go.
Wow.
So he just, I said, just press record. So I did the chorus, and I didn't write it down. It was freestyled. I did the verse. Then I called them in. I was so excited. I called them in and said, come and hear what I just did. And as Muna was listening, Muna was writing the second verse. And I finished the song in less than 2 hours. We had finished that song. The next day I came back to revoice, and I kept on, revoicing, and Jude passed and he looked at me and said, what are you doing? I said, that yesterday now, we had a lot to drink. I felt like my voice wasn't. You say, if I slap you, you will leave this place. You want to spoil better song we don't already do. And so that's to show you the kind of, we always maintained a great relationship. But maybe if in interviews or as they were pushing it, or maybe if I had, the knowledge to say, oh, royalties, what I should get from this, I would have been able to earn from it. But now it's just what it is today. Waje did do me, and that's what it is.
How did your dad and your mom support you when they knew that you wanted to go fully into music?
I didn't. it wasn't really their say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. First of all, I'd always been a child that I was on scholarship in school because I could sing. I went to one of a group of schools. The late Archbishop Benson Idahusam, may so rest in peace, was like my dad. And I was way young. I was 13 when I joined the praise team because his wife, the bishop, Margaret Idahusa, she heard me sing in an evening service, and she asked my integrated science teacher, who is my vocal coach, or who was my vocal coach, who is this young lady? And she said, oh, her name is Vivian, she's in GSS 3. She says put her in praise team, and that's how I joined praise team.
Wow.
And I was 13 at the time. So my parents, you not get how go no say music now the open door for this speaking. So they didn't quite have a say. And then when I got pregnant and moved out of Benin because of all the backlash and all that, I started staying with my mom's sister. So most of my decisions, and also because in a way we judge our parents, let's be honest. I don't know about you, but we judge our parents. And I think in many ways I had judged my mom to a point that many of my decisions, I didn't ask her opinion about it because I just felt she lived a certain life. Like why she's a woman that is so beautiful, but you just settled. That was what was in my mind. So I just felt like my first time in the university, like my first admission into the university was English, but because my mom studied English, I didn't go to school. I wrote another jam. Yes, that's how much I judged my mother. Wow. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I didn't really go and ask her opinion about what I wanted to do at that age. I was just working in church and sang in church, and somebody saw me. I didn't ask anybody any question. I signed the deal, and later I now regretted. I wished I asked people questions because it was a 5-year deal. No, it was a 10-year deal, 10-year, 5 albums.
Jesus.
Wow.
10-year deal, 5 albums.
Okay, so, I don't want to ask. Fine, finish.
So by the time I was done with the deal, I was already 28, and I had moved down to Lagos. I was trying to figure out my life, and we weren't. You understand the label and where my mind, because now you're in Lagos, you're more exposed. I've done MTV Advanced Warning, that Freeze, you remember that show? And I had already now started seeing the life of what an artist could be. You're pairing me with Durella, you're pairing me with Pipe, you're pairing me with, I'm like, okay, these are people that already have a fan base and I want what they have, So at the time, that's why when I see young people who get upset or cry about their record labels, I understand. But I am also compassionate to the record labels as well, because the person who is investing in your business is thinking, I deserve returns. Nobody invests in a business without thinking that they are going to get profits. So you will be sitting on the side of Dululu heaven if you think that the person is supposed to be a charity organization that will save you from grass to grace. But I didn't understand that concept. And at the time, I just felt, you guys are not moving as fast as I want to move, so I'm not going to renew. So if you, For a Minute came out in 2009, I think. I was 28 at the time. So in my mind, I'm just like, I'm a late bloomer. So people hear me say things like, I'm a late bloomer, because you hear Waje's first single and you're thinking, oh, how old was she? She was probably young. I had sat in my middle 20s when people started focusing and noticing me, compared to people who started at 18, 19, 20, 21, if that makes sense. Yeah.
And you were in the church from when you were 13. How do you still manage and get pregnant?
My brother, sometimes at that age, you are just fulfilling law righteousness to work register in church. For me.
Hey.
Right? I was fulfilling all right. It's not like at 13, so as a child,
how old were you when you got pregnant?
I was 16. No, I was 17.
Okay.
Yeah. I got
That's
pregnant
about the age when I started. I was just lucky. Continue.
I was 17. And at that time, I had a relationship with God, with Christ. I did. But, I was also young and I enjoyed certain things a little bit too much, I guess. I don't know. How do people get pregnant? So
it wasn't like a one-off, a mistake. It was something you enjoyed.
So it was my boyfriend at the time, right? And I already knew that if anything like that, it was something that we had discussed, because I remember that he told me that one of his close friends died from getting an abortion. So it was something I never thought that I will be a mother at that age. But when it happened, I didn't tell my mom till about 5 months. Because I sat down and I made sure that in that 5 months I cleaned the house, I did everything so that you will not be looking at me and say,
Wait, for 5 months, your mom did not know you were pregnant.
She didn't know.
I want you to run through the emotions when you missed your first period. Let's start from there. How did
I started panicking, of course. I started panicking.
You called the guy?
No, I didn't at the time. Yeah, I didn't at the time, you understand? Like, cause in my mind, I was a young girl. So at first, that's not where your mind is going. Do you understand? And then by the time I realized what was happening, I had called him and I told him, I said, listen, this is what is going on. And you know my stance. And he was like, yeah, sure, I know your stance. And we were good. We're like, okay. And that was it. So one morning devotion, and I've told the story before, we had morning devotion. My mom had been looking at me some type of way, but I was able to finesse my way around it. So sometimes she would ask me, she said, are you okay? I say, yes, mom, I'm okay. But that's when I would cook, I would do everything. So one day after morning devotion, my mom was getting ready to go to work. I called her and sat her down. I said, Mom, I want to tell you something. She said, what's it? I'm pregnant. She kept quiet. And I said, and I don't want to take the baby out. She said, she didn't say anything again. She said, go and sleep. Because I wasn't in school at the time. So when everybody goes to school, my younger brothers go to school, she goes to work, I have the house to myself. So most times I'll go back to sleep after cleaning and all that. We didn't have housekeepers at the time, and Nami, they do everything. So she said, okay, go and sleep. So I went back to bed. By the time my brothers woke up and rather got ready for school and they were about to leave, I would usually wake up or she would call me to lock the door. But I noticed that my mom still sat in the same position. She didn't move. That's when I understood the gravity of what I had done. Do you understand? And I think at that time, and God bless my mom, because till date, my mother never raised her voice, shouted, you are a disgrace. You are, till date, no. Immediately, she called her older sister. Her older sister came to Benin. Her older sister used to live in Enugu. Her older sister came to Benin. As her older sister came, she bought baby things. Wow. My grandmom moved in with us for a while to kind of take care of me because it was a bit difficult. I was young and it was a difficult pregnancy at the time. And that's where we are. She never said anything.
What happened to your relationship with the guy?
He died the minute I said, this is what I'm going to do. So he was like, okay.
But I'm not going to do it with you.
No, so that wasn't so I think he got cold feet, right? Because initially we agreed. But parents would be parents. My mom knew who he was because he would come to our house, he would see, would chill, would laugh. You understand? My mom wasn't the kind of person that, if you're dating her, she'll be shouting from the gate, get out of there! Hey, Bele, who is that? Who is that? No. All my friends came to the house. I was not that kind of child who, do you understand? So the only thing is, and which is what I try to do with young people now, right? Especially when you have come to the age of, noticing changes in your body and being curious with sex and all that. You understand? I rather have you talk to me because I never had those conversations with my mom. Right? My mom was very open to my friends, loving my friends, but sex wasn't a conversation my mom and I ever had, except when I started menstruating. The same motherly, okay, this is what your body is doing now. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. If you do this, you understand? And coming from a Christian background, you shouldn't have sex before marriage, if that makes any sense, So, I'm trying to remember. I lost my train of thoughts. What brought us here?
The guy.
Oh yes, so him. So at the time, my mom had gone to his family and said, "Okay, so your son and my daughter, and now this is where they are." And the dad called him and asked him. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But the story that my mom told me was that his father too was a bit harsh with how he accepted, how he took in the whole situation. And he was like, no, it's not him. No, he's not. You understand? So it was his word against mine. And trust my mother to be the most beautiful, amazing woman that I've ever met and know. And she was just like, okay, so it's not you, Abby? Say yes. I says, okay, so know that if it's not you, because in Igbo land, I think when a child is born out of wedlock, the family automatically adopts
the child. Yes.
So she's like, okay, the child is mine now. And that's how it